I am N.M. Misra, Dr. N.M. Misra from IMT Center for Distance Learning, and welcoming all of you for the particular, we will talk about the project work guidelines pertaining to operations management. More or less our IMT CDL students, whoever, whether they are working, existing, those who are already practicing operations, or somebody who are freshers, both type of students have to submit the project report, research project report in the final semester along with it is a part of their curriculum. So our IMT Center for Distance Learning had decided to give you the guidelines of project, how to write the project report, how to prepare the project report, and what are the things we have to consider during the project report. All these things we want to discuss in 10 or 15 minutes today. First of all, let me tell you how to select the topic. Once we are willing to select the topic, we have to identify the topics from the existing work wherever we are working. Best thing is to identify the problem from the existing practice, such as all of us are knowing the existing practices, maybe problems related to product design, problem related to process, problems related to aggregate planning, problems related to capacity planning, problems related to inventory control, problems related to quality, total quality, maybe a quality related product, quality related problems related to maintenance. So any area, you identify the area, from that identify the existing process, existing product and capacity, or whatever it may be, inventory control problems, and identify the bottleneck from that particular area. More or less you can feel what is the bottleneck. Bottleneck means overutilized process or underutilized process. Overutilized process, whether maybe it is maybe the product is not up to the mark, that we can say it is a raw material is not up to the mark. That is the problems you have to identify. So that's why during the process of selecting a topic, we must identify the bottleneck. And once the bottleneck have been identified, then we have to put forward the problem statement, define the objective of the study, that is the first thing, then explain the existing practice of the business. Existing practice means whatever is going on, within the systems, particularly how the process is there, what type of products we are manufacturing, what is the present existing capacity planning, what is the existing aggregate planning, what are the methods, existing inventory control methods. All these things, existing practice you have to explain in your project report, and then explain the bottleneck of the system. Means in the existing practice, what is the bottleneck, and from that bottleneck you state the problem. Next you have to state the problem. Problem means and based on that problem you give the objective of the particular problem. Now once the problem and objective is defined, then we have to identify the methodology. Particularly once we are talking about the methodology, more or less in the operations related research, more or less almost all the research are applied research. So maybe you can use a methodology like empirical research, scientific research methodology, or sometime we can use a case method based qualitative research technique, also one of the type of methodology for doing the project. But particularly in the operations research, we are using the empirical or the scientific methods only. Once the methodology is being identified, yes, we will go with this method, empirical method or scientific method, or the method pertaining to the case methods. So once it is identified, then we have to go ahead with deciding the size of the samples and whether the questionnaire is required or not. In the case of operations related research, most of the time questionnaire is not at all required. No, we have to identify the bottleneck, and once the bottleneck is being identified, then we have to go ahead with a literature review. We should go to the books, we should refer the journals, we should refer some magazines and all these things. After referring the magazines, journals and other thing, we will try to find out whether that type of problems, that type of bottleneck, is there any solution is existing or not, as suggested in the journals or books or not. That is the things we have to put and we have to rectify that particular problems. That is one way of doing this type of research and giving the solutions of that particular problem. This is one way. Sometime we need some we have to identify the need from the customer. In that case, customer or user, whoever is using your system or the process or the operations area, in that case we can use the questionnaires. So there is a constraint of questionnaire. If we need certain we want to identify the problems, identify the need of the users, then we can use questionnaire, otherwise it is not required at all. So this is one of the important part pertaining to questionnaire is concerned in the operations research. Finally, selecting the sample size. What should be our sample size? Sample size may be varying from different. We can go for probabilistic sampling, non-probabilistic sampling. Best way is we have to go with a probabilistic sampling and identify certain sample. Based on, maybe we can use some, if the standard deviation is known, we can go ahead with the formula of standard deviation is known, like we can use the standard error and confidence level we have to define, and based on the standard error and confidence level we can find out the size of the sample and we can go ahead with a probabilistic sampling. If the method is, if the standard deviation is not known, in that case we have to apply the second techniques which you might have learned in the quantitative techniques, and in that way you can find out the size of the sample, and that samples you have to take and practice on that. This is the things we have to do. Finally, coming to the data analysis part, what are the tools? We have to use different tools for the data analysis in case of operation management research. More or less we are observing that the operation research we are using Pareto analysis, cause and effect diagrams, and some of the SPC tools like X bar chart, R chart, C chart, U chart, N chart, P chart. These are the statistical process control tools one can use. But most of the things, whenever you are going to identify the bottlenecks and solve the problems, you must use the Pareto analysis methods and cause and effect diagram as one of the tools in the operation management. Any other scientific tools which is the best for the business to solve the problems, that can be taken and used for solving the problem and for improving the operation management or process and product and all these things. Other method which we can use in the data analysis, particularly in the operation management, are reverse engineering method, where we can break whole process and whole operation process, and then we have to find out the defect process and eliminate the process by identify the defective process and then put a new process. New process means a set of instruction, new type of task we can put on that place and test it. That is called reverse engineering approach, and the forward engineering approach can also be used as one of the tools, and that we are using in case of operations management research. Now finally we can think who should be our project guide in case of operation management. My opinion is you must select a guide who can give you a real real picture of operations management, real practice they can explain you, and they should be expert in the area of operation. They can be your best guide and they can give you a good suggestions pertaining, good research guidelines pertaining to operations management. This is my own thought in that direction. Finally, you can think how to develop the project report. So first thing, in the process of developing the project report, we have to prepare the synopsis. In the synopsis part, you write the title of your project, you write the objective of your research, operation research, then you have to write the existing practice of the business from wherever you are going to talk about the research project, do the research operations research, then you talk the methodology, and finally what is the tools you are going to use to identify the bottleneck, whether Pareto diagram, cause and effect, or any other SPC tools or any other scientific method that you have to explain. And finally you have to write the chapters. What are the chapters you are going to write, how you will present the findings, how you will present the recommendations and conclusions and limitations, and along with that you must do a literature review, and you have to incorporate the bibliography with the references. So this is the synopsis part. After the synopsis you have to get the approval from us, and after the approval you have to write a project report. That project report, in the project report, whatever things is there, you write in detail using a standard practice of the world class practice of writing the report, and use the citations rule. One thing, most of the times we are missing the citations rule. You must use APA style of citations and must practice it. So this is all about how to write a project report. More or less I will suggest you must refer some of the good websites who is giving you the guidelines how to write a good research project. So at the end you must prepare a PowerPoint presentation that will give you a insight about the whole project, and with that PowerPoint presentation you try to present your project and find the and give the solutions. So ultimate objective of the operation management is to find the identify the problems and give the solutions. That is the things you must keep it, and that's why at the end we can say knowledge is power. This is all about the how to write a project report and how you can prepare the project reports. So for any things, if you want to know more, our website, my email ID is with you, nmmishra@imtcdl.ac.in. you can send a mail for further information pertaining to operation management. Thank you very much.